we can also like create our own assemblies using this composer. So when you are installing Civil 3D, by default, even the composer also get installed. You just search for the software, and then once it opened, it will be like this. Okay, the composer window looks like this. Here I'm just going to create some basic assembly. For example, it is going to start, okay, and after we can able to make use of these geometries. So I'm just going to drag and drop the point first, and you can make use of the arrow. So this is the first point, right? Now I'm just going for second point. So when you're putting second point, just to drag and drop, and you can make use of the arrow. So we are getting point and also with the link. It will automatically comes with the one link. So that could be better. Now here we have some properties. So in this property, like we can able to go for geometry type. So here we have this much of geometry types. Normally we can just go for delta x and delta y, or we can just go for slope and delta y, or slope and delta x. X in the sense horizontal value, y in the sense vertical value, right? So I'm just going for slope and delta x, and then we can able to input those values here. How much slope you want, how much delta x you want, like this. Okay, it is by default 10, and then slope of -2%. So I'm just going to put fit to screen. We will see how it is. So this is what our link looks like. So what we can do means, if you want to modify this, you can able to modify. But before, if you want to create a parameter, you can able to create so. So for that you have something packet settings. Here you have input and output parameters. So just to click that input output parameters, and after by default we will be having one parameter that is like having side. Okay, so by default we can just go for left or right. Normally we used to prefer right. So just to select right. And I'm just going to create another parameter. So for that you should click this. And this one by default it is coming as double. So we will be having some value. So we can go for double. So what we can put lane width. So width of our lane, it should not have any spaces in between because it is like a name. And I'm just going for default value. How much we can put 10. See here we have 10. That only we are going to have here. And display name. So what this display name helpful for? Once you input this details in Civil 3D, then we can able to like modify through display name in property. So it will be displayed in your properties. So I'm just going for lane width. Here we can input a space also. Okay, now what I'm going to use means just to select this name, Control C, and then here I'm just going to put Control V. See now what it will be like once you're changing this value, here it will be automatically updated. Okay, for example, I'm just putting 5 and you click outside. Can you able to see that like how it is like getting updated? So this is what like a parameter is useful because we can't able to go with a single value as our project will be handling like we will be having multiple values. So parameters could be very useful for us to work with. Now we can able to go for slope parameter also, create parameter. And then here I can just go for slope, or we can just go for grade. Grade means it will be in a percentage. Slope means we can able to put in 1:1, something like that. So but here it is in percentage, then we can just go for grade. So I'm just going for side slope. So it should not have a space. See, parameters names must be unique, start with a character and consist of any combination of characters and numbers. Spaces and special characters are not permitted. So you should be aware of that. So side slope, and I'm just going to put a value. So by default I'm just going to put 2. See this minus we can able to input here, no need to worry about. Only the default value we can put. Otherwise if you are putting minus here, it will be confused for you when you are inputting some other values. So the same with the space I'm just going to put. Okay, what we can do now, we can just copy, and then I can just go for pasting over here. So we will cross check it whether it is like applicable or not. Like I'm just going to put 5%. See when you are clicking outside, it is like immediately updating. So like we cross verified it, it is working. Okay, now what I can go for means I'm just going for another point, and I'm just going for using arrow. Now this point from which point? P2 point, right? So it is automatically taking from P2 point, and we can just specify the delta y value. So delta y value I'm just going to put a -1. So once you put outside, we can able to see the line here. So -1 is too big. I can just go for -0.5. Okay. See this also we can able to go for create parameter. Again it is in double. So I can just go for thickness. So by default 0.5. We can able to change it. Thickness. So just copy this. It should be as it is in the name. So that's why copying. Otherwise we can type also. Okay, now we will see how it is like working or not. 0.25. See, it is like working. Now again, I'm just going for another point. So just to use a down arrow. Now this is, we are going to have from P1. So I'm just going to put from P1 and then the thickness. So here also minus control V, thickness. See, automatically coming. Now we can just go for link. Just to go for link. So which 2 points we can select? P4 and also P3. See, then we are getting the link. Okay, for this link, we no need to go for any parameters. So like this, we have created like one lane over right side of our assembly icon. Now we can just go for shape. So I'm just going for shape over here and then drag and drop. Okay, and here after you can just go for clicking it, and here we have something called links. So you can just put add link, add link, add link, and then add link. See, then you will be getting that orange color over in the screen. Then it is like a created one shape. So what is this shape useful for? This we can make use for quantity. See, this we can just go for concrete or asphalt. Like that we can able to go for different materials like gravel, sand, whatever it is. So for that we can just go for create parameter. So for this we can just go for string. This is like a string alphabets. So we can just go for string, and what we can put here material. And then I'm just going for default value as asphalt. And here I'm just going for material. So now we can just select the parameter, and what we can put. Here we have something called shape code where we can able to put the parameter. Then we can able to see the like material in between the braces. So this code is different. So for that you should display it. If you're not displaying it, it won't be showing in this screen. So you should switch on it. So codes, we can able to create codes for points and also the lines. So what we can do means you can just select the point, and this point code I'm just going to input as crown. See, but here for points and links we should put these quotations. In between the quotations only it will be accepted. Otherwise it won't. But for shape, no need some quotations. Only the parameter is enough. But for point, why I am putting crown means like when we are like using this assembly for our corridor, then we will be getting some feature lines. So that feature line we can able to like identify based on the codes over here, like a crown feature line, and this P2 we can just click, and what we can put. So here also we can put a edge, something like that. So we can able to easily identify the feature lines. Edge left we can put. So you can make use of any this kind of symbols also. So we can able to see here. Okay, now I'm just going for a P3. This P3 and all those things, we can just specify some datum or something like that. But I'm just going for line L1. So in this itself, we can able to just go for link. And also here I can just go for codes. What we can put top pavement. So this is like a top pavement, right? So I'm just putting top pavement. Okay, like this, we can just go for bottom pavement and bottom points also. It's up to you. Now I'm just going to stop here. Now we can just go for target parameters also. For example, I'm just going for target parameter, and here I'm just going for create parameter, and then I'm just going to put horizontal, and this is for horizontal offset. And then again another parameter that I'm just going for vertical, and I'm just going for elevation. Horizontal means offset, vertical means elevation, right? So that's why. So by default, I'm just going to take horizontal as 5 as per the lane width. See, then the h here, it will go to the 5. See, can you able to notice that? And here we can just go for elevation 0 as for now. Okay. Okay. Now when it will be applicable means you need to put these parameters over this L1 and L2. And here I'm just clicking L1 and I'm just going for offset target delta X, right? Where you can able to select the target parameter, horizontal, elevation target, vertical. And again I'm just going for L4, and this it will automatically come. We will see how it is. Now I'm just going to see now it is like a becomes normal. Vertical is 0, right? And horizontal is 5. That's why it is not considering the slope. If you want to see the slope that user inputs, we can just go for layout mode. When you're clicking layout mode, we can make use of the parameters, input output parameters. But when you are putting like a roadway mode, we can able to go for target parameters. So this is what the difference in between. So I'm just going to put some value here. We will test how it is. For example, 8. And also we can just go for fit screen, and elevation I'm just going to put 1. See, I put positive 1 na? So that's why it is going up. If you want to put a minus value also, you can put minus 0.5. So it is just going down. So like this we can just go for roadway mode, that is like target parameters. And also we can just go for layout mode, that we can able to input from here. These two parameters, it will be applicable in properties when you import this in your Civil 3D. Now I'm just going for super elevation. See, here we have some default values, but how we can input these things? Here I'm just going for input parameter, and I'm just going to create parameter. And here what we can select means in type, we can just go for super elevation. When you click super elevation and click outside, so the name and then the default value and the display name, everything will automatically comes, because this feature they have to avoid confusion. Unless other parameters we can able to create ourselves, but for super elevation, to avoid confusion, the software itself like having this feature. So where we can just go for default value and we can just go for none. Okay, and then after I'm just going here in this L1, and there you can just select the super elevation. So here we can just go for any of this, but now this we can change in the Civil 3D platform, not here. Now again I'm just going for another create parameter, but where we can just go for super elevation axis of rotation. So the same, when you click outside, everything will automatically comes, and here we can just go for supported or unsupported. This we can able to change in the properties in Civil 3D. Okay, but this AOR you should put apply AOR here. See, there is an option for apply AOR, you should click it. That we can just go for L4 also. So select the L4, and there you can able to see apply AOR, you need to select it, otherwise it won't. So these changes we can able to have for a normal lanes. So like this we can able to have multiple shapes over here above or below, and we can able to use these parameters and the values, and then we can able to save. Now I'm just going to continue with it. So I'm just going for, otherwise we can have another layer over here. For example, I'm just going for point. So this point from which we can select, like I'm just going for origin, we can just go for P3. From P3, how much the X distance we can put. For example, point 2 I'm putting, we can able to see here. So if you want that also, like as a parameter, you can go for. So select parameter, side offset, and by default it is like a point 2, side offset. So I can just go for pasting over here. So I'm just going to change it. See, it is like accepting. But we can just go for linking in between. So we can just go for add link to from point. Okay, it will automatically link. So when you are putting point 1, see here it is changing, right? So that is what it is important. Now we can just go for another point. So another point from which point? So from a P5. And then we can just go for delta Y. So this we can just go for thickness, right? So control C minus control V. So any other parameters if you want also you can go, but I'm just going to take the same thickness. Thickness 1, thickness 2, like this we can able to go for many parameters, up to you and up to your level of understanding. So this arrow doesn't matter, only the sequence I'm putting in order. You can just put wherever you want. And I'm just going to select the origin for this from P4. And now I'm just going for minus control V. So we will get the thickness. Now what we can do, we can just go for link. Okay, link from which point? P4, P6 to P7, right? See, we are getting the link. Now again, we can just go for shape. So click the shape and we can just go for select, 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 and select, select. See, then we can able to see the color it's coming, so that it will automatically come. The exclamation symbol will go. Now for this also, if you want some material, we can just go for some material. So we can just go for material top, and so we should not have any. If you're changing this, then we have to change there also. Otherwise, I'm just going for create parameter. So if you don't want, you can remove also. See, for example, here I'm just going for material base, material base, and I'm just going for concrete, for example. So here we should select input as string. So concrete. We can change this after also. I'm just going for material base, material base. So selected, Control C, and then Control V. See, we are getting concrete over there, and that we can able to change later also. Now what I'm just going to do means this line, like we have something over here. See here, I'm just going for not delta x and delta y. I'm just going for slope and delta y. So when you're putting slope and delta y, we can just go for some slope values, right? So here, what I'm just going to put means we have already one slope now, side slope. I'm just going to take same. Otherwise, we can just go for another new parameter. Slope base, and I'm just going for so grade, so minus 2%, and then slope base. I'm just going for slope base. So select this, Control C, and then minus Control V. Okay, but here everything like going just like that. So what is the problem here means we should select delta x actually, slope and delta x, and where we can just go for minus and then Control V, slope base, and we can just go for value here. This value we can just go for some 2 like that. We will see how it is. See, we have here this thickness we have now already like 0.2 or something we have put side offset. So we can just put the parameter here. Control V. See, now we are getting this parameter, right? And the slope base we have, so it is like a minus 2%. It is coming like this. Otherwise, I'm putting minus 6%. We will see how it is. See, accordingly, it is like a going. Then we should put minus a minus side offset. Minus you put. So it is going inside, right? So plus offset. Otherwise, we can put positive. See, positive slope, it is like coming correctly. For example, we can put 8 or 10. See, here it is changing. Nah? This is important. Okay, again, I'm just going for a cross verifying it. Side slope, I am going to put a 2. See, altogether it's moving, right? This should be perfect. And here I'm just going for 15. See, we can able to see that. Now, after completing everything, we can just go for saving it. Before saving, we can just go for packet setting, where we can able to input our name. I'm just going to put my assembly 1. For example, my assembly 1. You can put description. This name doesn't conform to the naming rules. Okay, we should not have any space in between. My assembly 1. Okay, description we can just go for. So description I'm just going for basic lane, something like that. So same concept, you can able to create whatever the lane. It makes your task very simple. Just make all those details here and you can able to use in a Civil 3D. So this is like a basic only, right? That's why. So help file we can able to choose from here image. It will be like showing in Civil 3D, like how it created, what are the things in it, like that, like codes and everything. And image also we can able to go for. So once you click that, we can able to select some images, whatever you want. So it will display in Civil 3D. Now I'm just going for example, I'm just going to take a screenshot. So I'm just going to take this image and I'm just going to save. So now I'm just going to select that image over here. See this one and click open. Okay, now what we can just go for file and then save. So once you save, we can just go for saving in document, something like that. And here it will be saving as .pkt file. So subassembly 3. Otherwise, we can just go for my assembly 1. So this .pkt we can able to import in Civil 3D and we can able to just generate our corridor. So just to save it. So that's all that we have done something in a composer and we are going to make use of it in our Civil 3D. So So in Civil 3D, we can just go for tool palette, TP, enter. The other shortcut for tool palette, Control 3 as well. So here we can able to see the basic assembly, and we can able to create our own tab. For example, we can just go for new palette, and we can able to name it custom palette. So custom palette will be available here, where what we can do, right click, and we can just go for, see here you should put actually cursor, right click, and we can just go for import sub assemblies. So where we can able to import our assembly. So just to search for the file that we have saved in documents, right? So in documents, I'm just going for myassembly1.pkt file. So just open and click OK. See, we can able to see that. See here, we can able to see our assembly. What we can make use of it? We can just go for creating our assembly. So just go for assembly, create assembly. So click OK. And here I'm just going for taking this my assembly. So once you selected, we also available with the parameters, right? I'm just clicking it. Okay, by default it is automatically coming in right because we have input side by default right, and after I'm clicking it will go for left. So this is what our lane looks like both way. And we can just go for parameters over here. These are all the parameters that we have created there in Composer. Do you remember everything we have here? So this is what important. Okay, like this we can able to go for customizing our lanes. This feature is helpful for people who are working in transportation and highway sectors, where they will be having many like bases, sub bases, and then shoulders, daylights, everything. So they can make use of these parameters, and they can able to make use of the composers as well. So I'm just going to close it. So close both. So as usual, like once you create it, you can just go for rectangle so that we can't to avoid confusion. So to zooming purpose. So it is somewhere here now, we can easily find it. Now I'm just going to test it with some polyline again. And you can switch off the ortho mode. So enter. And I'm just going for alignment, create alignment from objects, and then put enter. You can just put enter. This is like normal we used to see all the times. So default radius, and just click OK. And now we have got this alignment, right? Now we can just go for, as usual, create surface profile, and alignment 2, alignment 3 it is. Okay, and then I'm just going for adding the surface, and you click draw in profile view. We will get the profile first. Create profile view, and we can just input here. So this is what our profile looks like. Now we can just go for design profile. So create profile, tools, and then we can just go for design profile. Click. We can make use of anything. So once you put escape, like the design profile will be created. So as usual, once the design profile created, we can just go for building our corridor. So just click corridor, and here we can just go for selecting the assembly. That assembly we have, now we have created something now. So if you're confused with the names, what we can do is you can just click this, and you should select this red line. That is important. If you're selecting something, it won't come. This is what important. You just select it. So this is like assembly 3. So it will select by itself. So the target surface, we can just go for surface 1 and click OK. And then I'm just going for apply, and we can just go for rebuild the corridor, and you click OK. So now we will see how our corridor looks like. But we have chosen a different alignment. We have selected a different alignment. That's why I'm just going for again. So corridor, alignment 3, and then layout 3, and then here assembly 3. Now I'm just going for target surface, and then I'm just going for OK, and I'm just going for apply, rebuild the corridor. Not we will get in this alignment. Okay, now we have got the corridor. So now for this, I'm just going for some sample lines. So in home, we can just go for sample line and then select the alignment, or we can just select from the list. So alignment 3, click OK. And here I'm just going for So click OK. See, only the surface 1 and then the corridor 4 we should select. And I'm just going for click OK. And here we can just go for by range of stations, not one particular station. By range of stations we can just go for, and we can able to input those values. How much? For example, if you want like a 10 or 5, something like that, I'm just going to put a 5. And the right smart width, something like that. There is no need to change. By default also you can take. Okay, and then I'm just going for click OK. See, now we have got the sample lines. As this is like a big road, 2020 is enough. So once you close, we are getting the sample lines done. See, now what we can do means, now we can just go for section views and we can just go for create multiple views. Now we can just go for next and we can able to just go for next. We can able to modify later also, but anything you want now also you can modify. And I'm just going for label set. Here we have. So if you want some label set, we can just go for e.g. section labels, major and minor offsets. Otherwise, I'm just going for standard and click OK. And for corridor also, I'm just going for standard and click OK. And then I'm just going for create sectional views. And here always you put the section views in the top right corner, so it won't disturb our drawing. See, like this we have got our sections, right? See, with all details also we can able to see from here. See, here we have, and this is like a top one. So for that we can just go here, and then I'm just going for. So when you are putting cursor over here, this is in layer C road section, right? So this we can just go for. So you put C. So here it is not available. Then we can just go for edit section style. C road section. So I'm just going for some color. For example, I'm just going for magenta color and apply and then OK. See, now we can able to see. So just like a layer, we can able to change the layers. See, sometimes it is like near to the thing. Sometimes it is like going below also. See, it is like going something like this. So depends on the design profile, we will be getting these things.